I think what really drew me to religious life, and specifically to the Sisters of Charity, was the community dimension, that life together, the common day in, day out life and support and prayer with my sisters that has both enabled me, supported me, called forth my gifts, but also challenged me to grow, challenged me to do things that maybe I didn't think I could do, and that's been the blessing of life together.
I think one of the greatest gifts of doing an adventure like starting a clinic for handicapped children and working in a community is that alone the project seems totally overwhelming, and how can we do this? And with a group, I could see gifts that Peggy has, or I could see the gifts that Ann has, or Janet has, and how this could work, and then they could see gifts that I could have to make this possible. One afternoon on the doorstep, there was a mother sitting there with tears in her eyes, holding this child who was hitting himself and screaming and thrashing, and the mother just had this desperate look in her eyes, and she looked at me and she said, "They told me that the sisters could help me." And I looked at the child, I looked at the mother, and I thought, oh my God, you better help us. And so we brought the child into the clinic, and I had everybody just come in, and we all just laid our hands on the child and were present. And within a half hour, the child quieted down, fell asleep, and the mother just had these big tears in her eyes, and she said, "Thank you." To me, that was God speaking to us, saying, "This is what I want you to do, and I'll help you."
When we came to the border of the United States and Mexico, now almost 16 years ago, we came because we knew that there would always be human need here. I came here with no inclination of crossing the border, but that love of Christ pushing, impelling, daring, almost luring, drawing us is what got us to the other side. In fact, I remember talking to Sister Rose, who was a retired sister who was volunteering with us for a little while, and having a conversation with her. And I said, "Rose, I really feel we're called to the other side, but I don't want to go by myself, and I don't know if we can go. I don't know." And she said, "I'll go with you. I'll go with you." And that was, at the very beginning, and then we all started going.
We didn't start out working with the special needs children, nor did the sisters in Cincinnati at St. Joseph Homes. That's the whole thing about following the Spirit and being open, that when we look at the charism and the mission of our congregation, a lot of times it had to do with our foundresses being open to what was next.
The most powerful ways that we find the strength and the joy to meet these challenges is through our daily prayer as a community. For me, that has just been a very, very powerful part of our community living. For me, it's a time of getting really the privilege of knowing each other on a deeper level, and of being able to pray for one another, a grace that they need for that day, or we pray for those that we're going to be working with and for.
Sometimes after a really hard day, I'm looking forward to coming home and sitting around the table and having a meal together. There's just that easygoing feeling of knowing each other well enough and knowing where our weaknesses are or where we need some support.
I've just been so impressed with the love and the energy that each one seems to have, in the openness and encouraging and inviting others.
I think while all communities have a gift, a charism of God, I think our community is just, in its simplicity, always adapting to the needs of the times. The gifts, the talents, the abilities that women have can be utilized in our family of charity to meet the needs of our time. A big piece is you got to be ready to risk a caring response. Hopefully for our future we will have risk takers, like we've had risk takers. So welcome aboard.
Saying the words "for life" was so different than "for 2 years" or "for 1 year" or "to renew." But I knew without a doubt that I was ready and willing and able to do this for life. Whatever life, I have no idea what the future holds for us, but I knew within my heart that with God by my side, there isn't anything that I can't do, and I was ready to say yes for life.
I, Sister Sandra K. Howe, freely commit myself for life to the service of God and God's people as a member of the Sisters of Charity of Cincinnati.
The mission of Jesus Christ is at the heart of the call to be a Sister of Charity. We preach good news to the poor. We proclaim liberty to captives and recovery of sight to the blind. We set free the oppressed, all because we have known the extravagant love of our God, which urges us, impels us, dares us to risk a caring response to the needs of our sisters and brothers.